Imagine this. You land in a new country. The airport is loud, fast, confusing. People are speaking English, fast English. And suddenly, your mind goes blank. You know English, but you can't speak. Your heart beats faster. Your hands feel cold. And in that moment, you don't need perfect English. You need real English. Today, you're not just learning English. You're learning how to move through the world with confidence. Lesson 1. The first step. Confidence before words. Before you learn airport phrases, before hotels, before restaurants. You must understand one truth. English is not about grammar first. English is about connection first. Think about a traveler walking into an airport. They don't say perfect sentences. They say simple things like, "Excuse me. Where is the check-in?" And that works. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is clear. Say this slowly. I can speak, I will try. Again, I can speak, I will try. This is your first travel sentence. Not in English, but in your mind. Because when you believe this, every next lesson becomes easier. And now, we walk into the airport together. Lesson 2. Entering the airport. Real situations begin. You enter the airport. You look around. Signs, screens, lines, people moving fast. You feel a little nervous. That's normal. Now imagine someone standing at the entrance. You walk up and say, "Hi, this is my first time. Where do I go?" Simple, honest, human. English is not about being perfect. It's about being understood. Key phrase for today. Excuse me. Where should I go for check-in? Repeat it slowly. Excuse me. Where should I go for check-in? Notice the tone. Polite, calm, clear. In real life, people will help you. But only if you speak. Silence creates confusion. Simple English creates direction. Now you're not lost anymore. You're moving forward. Lesson 3. Check-in counter. Your first real conversation. Now you reach the check-in counter. A staff member smiles and says, "Passport, please." Don't panic. This is your moment. You say, "Here you go." Short, natural, confident. Then they ask, "Do you have any bags?" You reply, "Yes, one bag." Or, "No, just this." That's it. You don't need long sentences. You need clear answers. Let's practice. I have one bag. I don't have checked baggage. Again, slower, feel the rhythm. This is how real English sounds in real life. Not complicated, just useful. And now something changes. You realize, I can actually do this. Lesson 4. Security check. Calm under pressure. Now you reach security. This place feels serious. People are quiet, focused. An officer says, "Put your items here." You don't need to think too much. You just say, "Okay." Simple. Then maybe they say, "Take off your shoes." You respond, "Sure." Notice something important? At airports, English is often short and direct. No long conversations, just clear actions. Practice these. "Okay." "Sure." "No problem." These are powerful because they show you understand. Confidence is not speaking more. Confidence is responding correctly. And now, you pass security. You didn't freeze. You didn't panic. You moved forward. Lesson 5. Finding your gate. Asking without fear. Now you're inside. Big screens, flight numbers. You look, but you're not sure. This is where many learners stop speaking, but not you. You walk up and say, "Excuse me, where is gate B12? That's it. Let's break it down. Excuse me. Polite start. Where is? Clear question, gate B12. Your goal. Now repeat. Excuse me. Where is my gate? Again. Feel it. Every time you ask, your fear becomes smaller. Every time you speak, your world becomes bigger. Lesson 6. Boarding the plane. Small talk, big growth, now it's time to board. The staff says, "Boarding now." You walk forward, you show your ticket. They say, "Thank you." You reply, "Thank you." This is communication. Simple, respectful, human. Sometimes a person next to you smiles. You can say, "Hi, where are you traveling?" This is small talk. It's not necessary, but it builds confidence. Because English is not just for survival, it's for connection. And now, you're not just a traveler, you're a communicator. Lesson 7. Arrival. A new country, a new you. You land. New place, new energy. Now immigration. The officer asks, "Purpose of visit?" You answer, "Travel," or "Vacation." Short, clear. Then, "How long will you stay?" You say, 5 days, or 1 week. This is real English. No grammar stress, no fear, just clarity. And something powerful happens here. You realize, I used English in another country. That moment changes everything. Lesson 8. Taxi conversation. Real-life English outside. You exit the airport. You need a taxi. You say, "Hi, can you take me to this hotel?" Show your phone. Simple. Driver says, "Yes." You say, "Thank you." That's enough. If you want more confidence, try, "How long will it take?" Again, "How long will it take?" This is practical English, not classroom English. Real-world English. Lesson 9. Hotel check-in. A new level of confidence. You walk into the hotel. You smile. You say, "Hi, I have a reservation." That's it. Powerful, clean, natural. They ask your name. You respond. Then they say, "Here is your key." You say, "Thank you." That's a full conversation. And look at you now. From nervous at the airport to confident at a hotel. This is growth. Lesson 10. Room problems. Speaking when it matters now. Imagine something is wrong. Maybe no hot water. You call reception. You say, "Hi, there is a problem with my room." Pause. Then explain simply, "No hot water." Or, "The AC is not working." You don't need perfect sentences. You need clear problems. Because English is not about sounding smart. It's about being understood. Listen carefully. You didn't just learn phrases today. You learned how to move without fear. Most people wait until their English is perfect. But perfect never comes. Action comes first. Confidence comes second. Fluency comes last. So here's your mission. Today, speak 1 sentence. Tomorrow, speak 2. Don't hide. Don't wait. Because the world is not waiting for perfect English. It's waiting for you. And this journey has just begun. Lesson 11. Entering your room. The quiet moment of realization. You close the hotel room door. Silence. For the first time, you are alone in a new country. You put your bag down. You take a deep breath. And something unexpected happens. You replay the day in your mind. You spoke English at the airport. You spoke in a taxi. You spoke at the hotel. Not perfect, but real. And that realization feels powerful. Say this softly. I did it. Again. I did it. This sentence is not just English. It is proof. Because learning English is not about knowing everything. It's about surviving real moments and growing from them. Tonight, you rest. Tomorrow, you explore. Lesson 12. Mornings at the hotel. Starting conversations naturally. Morning comes. You walk into the hotel lobby. There's someone at the desk. This is your next step. You don't wait. You say, "Good morning." Simple, natural, friendly. They smile back. Now you add, "Can I ask something?" Pause. "Where can I get breakfast?" This is how conversations begin, not with big words, but with small, confident steps. Repeat, "Good morning. Can I ask something?" Feel the rhythm. You are not forcing English anymore. You are using it. Lesson 13. Asking for help. Turning fear into strength, you step outside. New streets, new signs. Maybe you feel lost again. But this time, something is different. You don't stay silent. You walk up to someone and say, "Excuse me, can you help me?" That sentence is powerful because it opens doors. Most people want to help, but they cannot help if you don't speak. Now continue. "I'm looking for a restaurant," or "I'm trying to find this place." Show your phone if needed. Communication is not just words. It's gestures, tone, effort. And every time you try, you become stronger. Lesson 14. Entering a restaurant. First impression. It matters. You walk into a restaurant. People are talking, eating, smiling. A staff member looks at you. This is your moment. You say, "Hi, table for one, please." Clear, confident. If you're with someone, "Table for two, please." That's it. No complicated grammar, just purpose. They guide you to your seat. And now, you are not just traveling, you are participating. Lesson 15. Understanding the menu. Simple strategies. You sit down. You open the menu. Some words are easy, some are new. Don't panic. You don't need to understand everything. Focus on keywords. Chicken, rice, soup, salad. Then ask, "Can you recommend something?" This is a powerful phrase. Repeat, "Can you recommend something?" It shows confidence. It invites help. And it makes your life easier. Because English is not about knowing everything. It's about asking the right question. Lesson 16. Ordering food. Speaking with clarity. The waiter comes. They ask, "What would you like?" You don't freeze, you say, "I'll have this." Point if needed, or "I'd like the chicken and rice." Slow, clear, natural. Then they may ask, "Anything to drink?" You reply, "Water, please." Or, "I'll have a juice." Practice this. I'd like. These are your power phrases in restaurants. Short, effective, real. Lesson 17. Mistakes happen, and that's okay. Now imagine, you say something wrong. The waiter doesn't understand. This is where most learners panic, but not you. You stay calm. You say, "Sorry, let me say that again." Or, "Sorry, I mean this." Mistakes are not failure. Silence is. Every mistake is a step forward. Because real communication is messy. And that's okay. Lesson 18. Enjoying the moment. English becomes natural. Your food arrives. You smile, you say, "Thank you." You take a bite. And suddenly, you relax. Because now, English is not scary. It's part of your experience. You might even say, "This is really good." Try it. This is really good. Simple expression, real feeling. This is how language becomes natural, through experience. Lesson 19. Asking for the bill. Ending with confidence. You finish your meal. Now you need the bill. You don't wait silently. You say, "Can I get the bill, please?" Repeat, "Can I get the bill, please?" Or in American style, "Can I get the check?" Both work. Both are natural. You pay, you smile, you say, "Thank you." And just like that, you completed a full English conversation. Lesson 20. Reflection, the hidden growth. Now pause. Think about today. You asked for directions. You ordered food. You handled mistakes. This is not small. This is transformation. Because most learners study English for years, but never use it. You used it. And that changes everything. Lesson 21. Confidence shift. From fear to flow. Something is changing inside you. At first, you were scared to speak. Now, you look for chances to speak. This is the shift, from fear to flow. Say this: "I am improving every day." Again, "I am improving every day." Because confidence is not magic. It is built one sentence at a time. Lesson 22. Small talk with strangers, expanding your world. Now you try something new. You start a small conversation at a cafe or in a line. You say, "Hi, is this your first time here?" Or, "Hi, how's your day going?" Simple, friendly. You don't need a long conversation, just a moment. Because every small talk builds fluency, and every conversation builds courage. Lesson 23. Listening skills. The other half of English. Now you notice something important. Speaking is only half. Listening is the other half. Sometimes you don't understand everything. That's okay. You say, "Sorry, can you repeat that?" Or, "Can you speak a little slower?" These are powerful tools because good communication is not about pretending. It's about being honest. Lesson 24. Becoming independent. No more fear. Now, imagine this. You walk into a place. You don't feel nervous anymore. You don't overthink. You just speak. Because now, English is not a subject. It's a skill, a real-life skill, and you are using it. Lesson 25. The turning point. A new identity. This is your turning point. You are no longer someone who is learning English. You are someone who uses English. That identity matters. Because what you believe becomes what you do. Say this. I am an English speaker. Again, I am an English speaker. Feel it, because it's true. Look at your journey. From fear at the airport, to confidence in restaurants, to speaking with strangers. This is not luck. This is courage. Most people wait for the perfect moment. But you created it. So here's your next mission. Tomorrow, start one conversation, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect. Because your voice matters, and the world becomes smaller when you are not afraid to speak. Lesson 26. A problem happens. Real English begins here. Not everything goes perfectly, and that's where real English begins. Imagine this. You check your wallet. Something is missing. Your heart beats faster. Panic tries to take control. But this time, you don't freeze. You breathe. You say, "Stay calm." Now you go to the hotel desk. You speak. "Hi, I think I lost something." Pause. "My wallet is missing." Simple, clear, honest. This is real-life English. Not practiced, not perfect, but necessary. And you are handling it. Lesson 27. Asking for help in difficult moments. The staff listens. They ask questions. You don't understand everything. That's okay. You say, "Can you repeat that, please?" Or, "Can you explain slowly?" These sentences are your safety tools. They give you time. They give you clarity. And most importantly, they give you control. Because fear grows in silence, but confidence grows when you speak. Lesson 28. Police or help desk. Serious communication. Now imagine you go to a help desk, or even the police. This feels serious. But your English doesn't need to be perfect. You say, "I need help." Pause. "I lost my wallet." Then add, "It happened near the restaurant." Short sentences. Clear information. That's all you need. Because in serious situations, clarity is more important than complexity. Lesson 29. Understanding directions. Listening carefully. Someone gives you directions. They speak fast, left, right, straight. You feel confused. But now, you don't panic. You say, "Sorry, can you say that again?" Or, "Can you show me on the map?" This is smart communication. Because understanding is more important than pretending. And every time you ask again, you learn faster. Lesson 30. Solving the problem. A confidence breakthrough. Now imagine, you find your wallet. Relief. You smile. You say, "Thank you so much." This moment matters because you didn't run away from the problem. You faced it in English, and that changes your confidence forever. Lesson 31. Shopping conversations. Everyday English. Now your journey continues. You enter a shop, you look around, you pick something, you go to the counter, you say, "Hi, how much is this?" Simple. Then, "Do you have a different size?" Or, "Do you have this in another color?" These are real-life phrases, used every day. And now, you are using them too. Lesson 32. Money conversations. Practical confidence. Now you pay. You say, "Can I pay by card?" Or, "Do you accept cash?" These are essential because travel is not just about speaking. It's about handling real situations. And every situation you handle builds your independence. Lesson 33. Transportation. Moving with confidence. Now you try public transport. Bus, train, subway. You ask, "Does this go to downtown?" Or, "Where's the ticket counter?" Again, simple, clear, useful, because language is a tool. And now, you are using it to move freely. Lesson 34. Getting lost again. But this time, it's different. You get lost again. But something is different now. You don't feel fear. You feel control, because now you know what to do. You walk up and say, "Excuse me, I'm lost. Can you help me?" That sentence shows strength, because asking for help is not weakness. It's intelligence. Lesson 35. Deeper conversations. Beyond survival. Now something new happens. A longer conversation begins. Someone asks, "Where are you from?" You answer, "I'm from India." Then they ask, "Why are you here?" You say, "I'm traveling and learning." Now this is not survival English. This is connection. This is human communication. Lesson 36. Sharing your story. Your voice matters now. You speak more. You say, "This is my first time traveling alone." Or, "I'm learning English, so I want to practice." And something beautiful happens. People respect your effort. They listen, because your story matters, and English is helping you share it. Lesson 37. Understanding accents. Real-world challenge. Now you notice something. Different people speak differently, different accents, different speeds. At first, it feels hard. But now, you adapt. You listen for key words. You stay calm. You say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that." This is real-world listening, and you are growing stronger in it. Lesson 38. Emotional growth. The inner transformation. Now stop for a moment. Look at yourself. Before this journey, you were afraid to speak. Now, you are talking to strangers, handling problems, sharing your story. This is not just language learning. This is personal growth. Because English didn't just change your words, it changed your confidence. Lesson 39. Independence. You don't feel small anymore. There was a time when English made you feel small. Now, it makes you feel independent. You can ask. You can answer. You can handle situations. You don't feel lost anymore. You feel capable. And that feeling is powerful. Lesson 40. The emotional peak. You did it. This is your moment. The emotional peak. You sit somewhere quiet, maybe a park, maybe a cafe, and you think, "I came here scared. But now I can speak. Not perfectly, but confidently." And that's enough. Because perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Listen carefully. This journey was never about English. It was about courage. It was about stepping into the unknown and choosing to speak anyway. You faced confusion. You faced mistakes. You faced fear. And you didn't stop. That is strength. So now, ask yourself, what else can you do if you are not afraid? Because this is not the end. This is proof that you are capable of more. Lesson 41. The last few days. Awareness changes everything. Your journey is almost coming to an end, but something inside you has changed. Before, you were focused on words. Now, you are focused on communication. You notice how people speak, how they pause, how they smile. You understand more than before. And even when you don't understand everything, you stay calm. Because now you trust yourself. Say this quietly. I can handle it. Again, I can handle it. This is no longer practice. This is real life. And you are living it. Lesson 42. Ordering without thinking. Natural flow. You walk into a cafe again. But this time, something is different. You don't prepare sentences in your head. You don't translate. You just say, "Hi, I'll have a coffee and a sandwich." Smooth, natural, effortless. This is flow. This is what happens when practice meets real experience. You are no longer forcing English. You are using it. Lesson 43. Helping someone else, full circle moment. Now something unexpected happens. Someone looks confused, lost, just like you were before. They ask you, "Excuse me, can you help me?" And for a moment, time pauses. Because now, the roles are reversed. You smile. You say, "Yes, I can help." Simple words, but powerful meaning. Because now, you are not just a learner. You are someone who can guide others. Lesson 44. Explaining directions. Speaking with purpose. They ask for directions. You think for a second. Then you say, "Go straight, then turn left." Slow. Clear. You use your hands. You point. You communicate. Not perfectly, but effectively. And they understand. That moment changes you. Because teaching something proves you truly learned it. Lesson 45. Reflecting on fear. The old you versus the new you. Think about your first day. The fear, the hesitation, the silence. Now look at today. You speak, you ask, you help. What changed? Not your grammar, not your vocabulary. Your courage changed. Because fear didn't disappear. You just stopped listening to it. Lesson 46. Packing to leave. A quiet, emotional shift. Now you are packing your bag, folding clothes, organizing memories. But inside, something feels different. You are not the same person who arrived. You are stronger, more confident, more open. And you realize, this journey was never just about travel. It was about transformation. Lesson 47. Returning to the airport. A new experience. You arrive at the airport again. Same place, same system. But you feel different. Before, it was overwhelming. Now, it feels familiar. You walk with confidence. You speak without hesitation. Because now, you know what to do. And more importantly, you believe in yourself. Lesson 48. Smooth conversations. Proof of growth. At check-in, you say, "Hi, here is my passport." At security, "Sure." At the gate, "Thank you." Everything feels easier, not because the situation changed, but because you changed. This is growth. Quiet, real, powerful. Lesson 49. The final flight. Thinking deeper. You sit on the plane, looking out the window, and you think, how did this happen? You remember your fear, your first sentence, your first mistake, your first success, and you smile. Because now you understand. Growth happens in small moments. Lesson 50. The real lesson. It was never just English. This is the truth. This entire journey was never just about English. It was about speaking when you feel nervous, trying when you feel unsure, moving when you feel stuck. English was just the tool. Courage was the real lesson. Lesson 51. Bringing it back home. Your new life. Now, imagine going back home. Same place, same people. But you are different. You speak more confidently. You think differently. You act differently. Because once you grow, you cannot go back to being the same. Lesson 52. Practicing daily. Keeping the growth alive. Now your journey continues. Not in another country, but in your daily life. You speak English every day, even small sentences, even small conversations. Because consistency creates mastery, and you are no longer waiting, you are acting. Lesson 53. Inspiring others. Your story matters. Now people notice you. They ask, "How did you improve your English?" And you tell them, "I started speaking, even when I was scared." Your story inspires others, because real stories create real impact. And now, you are part of someone else's journey. Lesson 54. Identity shift. You are not the same person. This is your identity now, not someone who is trying to learn English, but someone who uses English in real life. That identity changes everything, because what you believe about yourself shapes your actions, and your actions shape your future. Lesson 55. The final moment. A promise to yourself. This is the final moment, the end of this documentary, but the beginning of something bigger. Close your eyes for a second and say this: I will not stay silent. Again, I will not stay silent, because your voice matters, your effort matters, your journey matters. Listen, there will always be fear. There will always be mistakes. There will always be moments when you feel unsure. But now, you know something powerful. You don't need perfect English to live a bigger life. You just need courage. Courage to speak, courage to try, courage to continue. So here's your final mission. The next time you get a chance, speak, even if your voice shakes, even if your words are not perfect, because every sentence you speak builds a new version of you. And one day, you will look back and realize, this was the moment. Everything changed.